Welcome to the Fit Dad Nation podcast, forging strong fathers and raising a stronger generation. It's time to get up or shut up with your host, Steve Roy.
Hey guys, this is Steve Roy, host of the Fit Dad Nation podcast. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you listening. I want to jump right into it today. So I've been doing a little bit of research, talking to the community. I've got a couple different groups and email lists that I'm communicating with, and I'm getting a lot of feedback lately just about quote-unquote eating right. So a lot of struggles. People seem to have it in their mind that there's a right way to eat, there's a wrong way to eat. So I want to talk about that today because I have some specific thoughts on it, and I think maybe that mentality is even holding you back. So first thing I want to say is, when it comes to weight loss, right, and more specifically fat loss, because we don't want to lose weight, we want to lose fat while maintaining our muscle, right? That should be the goal for anybody. You don't want to just lose a whole bunch of weight. It's just not the right way to do it. But anyway, it should never be a race to lose weight, right? So people think in terms of, I have to get this done. I really, I got to push for this 10 pounds, right? What I want you to do instead is just think about, all right, this is your life, right? Who fucking cares if it takes you a month, 6 months, or 2 years to lose 30 pounds? At the end of the day, this is long term. You're going to be alive most likely for a very long time. So look at it like that and start just making the changes slowly, one at a time, that's going to gradually work into your lifestyle and allow you to rebuild better habits and get rid of some of the ones that are holding you back. So just keep that in mind, please. Everybody's in such a hurry that everyone's so frustrated and upset. I can't lose weight. I'm struggling to lose weight. And it's just such a big topic. But I just want you to really, at the end of the day, think about this is a very, very long-term thing. Stop trying to rush it. Stop getting, overwhelmed and frustrated and quitting. Okay, so, I want to say that when it comes to diet, obviously, and I've talked about this ad nauseum, but, there's just way, 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 way too much information out there to ever process or to make sense of. You go to the bookstore, there's dozens, maybe hundreds of books on the bestseller NCAP or whatever in the section of diet books, and MDs, PhDs, people with these great degrees and quote unquote experts, celebrities, celebrity trainers, actors, models, all these people are writing books about dieting, right? And at the end of the day, there's no right way to eat. There's no wrong way to eat. It's just a matter of finding what works for you and then just really sticking to it. Low carb isn't necessarily better than high carb for you, right? Some people do well with high carb, some people don't, right? Keto isn't magic. Carnivore isn't magic. Paleo isn't magic. It's just an approach, and if it works for you, awesome. If it doesn't, move on. Find something that makes more sense for you. I'm a firm believer that you don't have to sacrifice not only all the foods that you love, but your quality of life or your life in the name of chasing down a few pounds. It just does not make sense, right? People put their life on hold. They stop going to social things. They'll stop going out altogether. They'll confine themselves. They'll force themselves into very strict diets or programs, all in the name of losing a few pounds, and it just doesn't make sense, and it doesn't work long term because you're at the end of the day you're miserable. I mean, you're miserable, and that's not conducive to sticking with anything, right? You're just not going to stick with something that it makes you miserable. Can you do it? Sure. But why should you have to do it, right? It should be a conscious decision, and it should be something that empowers you, not makes you feel like you're fucking up if you eat one potato chip and that you're a piece of shit. That's not the way it ever should be. So, please just keep that in mind. Really, really the goal is to develop a better relationship with eating, with nutrition, with food. It's not chasing down one fad diet after the next. People do it, obviously. People do it every day, millions of people. And to me, it's sad. I've just talked to so many people, even recently, that just are chasing just short-term diets that just don't make a lot of sense for the long term. And in the short term, yeah, you're going to lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds, but at what cost, right? Is it worth it to just go through the things that you're going through, to feel the way you're feeling? I just don't get it. I mean, I just don't get it. People do it. I don't recommend that at all, right? I really think that, we've just overcomplicated the whole nutrition, the whole topic of nutrition. Everything is just so complicated. It's not complicated at all, really. I look at nutrition as just very simple blocks. Like, I just see it for what it is. I've got protein, I've got carbs, I've got fat, I've got foods that are, as close to nature as possible. I've got foods that are highly processed. It's just a matter of choosing one over the other, and that's it. I mean, obviously there's a lot more that goes into it, but that's how I view it. And to me, it's just so simple, right? I honestly don't think you need a meal plan. I think that actually can make things worse for you in some cases. I mean, sure, they can work, but I think someone writes you a meal plan, and I get that request all the time. I don't do meal plans because, number one, it's a waste of money for the person, because 9 times out of 10, actually I probably should say 99 out of 100, you are not going to stick with it. You'll try it for a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. If I give you a month-long meal plan, there's almost zero chance you're going to stick to that. It just doesn't work, because it doesn't fit into your lifestyle. It's too much work, and people, at least in their minds, are too busy to spend all that fucking time doing that, preparing, planning every single meal, shopping, everything that goes into prepping and getting that meal on the table in front of you, counting your calories or counting your portions or counting your macros, whatever. All that work. It's so much. And yes, if you're doing it for a very specific reason, you're in some kind of competition or challenge or whatever, then yes, it'd be okay. But for the average person like me or you, no, it's stupid. I mean, this is my opinion. There's going to be some people that say, I live by my meal plan, whatever. That's fine. Good for you. I think for the vast majority of people, it doesn't make any sense. I just don't need it. But like I said, people contact me all the time for meal plans, and I say, no, this is just not something that, I'm not taking your money for something that I know, and I don't want to do it anyway, but I'm not taking your money for something that I know you're not going to get any value out of. And here's my philosophy, right? So again, we're talking about eating quote unquote right. And I said there's no right way, there's no wrong way, but I will say that making your nutrition, obviously it's a priority if your goal is health, energy, weight loss, muscle gain, whatever. Doesn't matter what your goal is. Nutrition is at the very top of the pyramid, which controls a lot of, how you feel and obviously your body composition and all that stuff. But keeping it as absolutely simple as possible is honestly one of the secrets that I'll share, right? And of course, we know there's no secrets, but we'll call it a secret because it's that important. Simplicity trumps so much when it comes to eating. Everybody likes to go out and buy a new cookbook, right? Everybody loves to sign up for these apps that charge a subscription every month and give you all these cool recipes, and they have these beautifully done photos that look extremely appetizing, and I'm sure they are, right? And then, you look at the ingredients and you realize you have about 2 out of the 14 that you need. So, okay, we got to go to the store and pick it up. Now I'm going to get home. Now I've actually got to prepare, take it out, cut it up, get it ready, soak the beans, whatever it is. Then I've got to go cook it, right? Oh, the kids really don't like it. Oh, it's got a funny taste. My husband, my wife won't like it. All right. So you go through all this work, and it is a pain in the ass. And you're like, well, I don't know if that was worth all what I just put into it and spent on it and whatever. And I think that the idea of it is great, right? The idea of having all these wonderful recipes at your fingertips, and for some people it works, but for most of the guys that I've spoken to over the years need things as quick and as simple as possible, but as healthy as possible at the same time, right? And it is possible to make quick meals, easy, healthy stuff that fits whatever program you're doing. You just have to put a little bit of energy into figuring out what that looks like. But honestly, for me, I eat like really boring shit. I mean, I will tell you, when I'm following, and I've gone through phases even recently where I'm really struggling with my diet. But, I just started this 45-day challenge with my group. And so I'm committing to a Primal Diet, which I've done many times in the past. And that's kind of my go-to. So basically it's no sugar, no grains, no flour, basically no processed packaged type foods. Obviously no fast foods. We're not eating sweets. So, I keep that as simple as possible. So a typical day for me would be 4 eggs. I throw in a little bit of cheese, cook them in olive oil or butter, and either bacon or both, or berries. I'll have either blackberries, blueberries, or raspberries, typically. And that's it. That's my breakfast, right? Drink a bunch of water, or actually I drink a lot of pre-workout, so I put pre-workout powder into my water. And then for lunch, something simple like, I've shared this before. I've shared this. I think I have I know I have a YouTube video on this about how to make crack slaw, which is basically you take a bag of coleslaw mix, get the stuff that has a bunch of vegetables, cauliflower, broccoli, florets, all that stuff. Throw it into a pan with grass-fed beef or ground beef and a few ingredients, soy sauce, or you can use an alternative like coconut aminos, garlic, and vinegar, like apple cider vinegar, and then mix it up. Sesame seeds, optional, that kind of stuff. So you're hitting, something simple, right? Salad and meat, essentially. And then for dinner, I've been, my go-to is just an 8-ounce grass-fed filet cooked in a cast iron skillet with butter and onions, right? There's no carbs in that, or almost none with the onions. And that's it. Those are my go-tos. And yeah, I'll mix it up a little bit here and there, but I don't want to, nor do I really have the time to spend shopping, prepping, preparing, cooking, eating. All those things, that takes a lot of time. And I just don't, could I do it? Probably could. I don't want to do it. And that's the thing. We have to want to do this. And if we don't want to do it, it's not going to last very long. All right. So just keep that in mind, guys. Just please, if nothing else, and again, I don't care what type of diet you like or what approach to eating works for you, just keep it as absolutely simple as possible. Right? The fewer ingredients, the better. If you can repeat the same handful of meals over and over, do it. It will help because, I would say consistency is just more important than the specific diet that you're on. It really is. Just find what works for you. And again, it has to be healthy, it has to be sustainable, and it has to get results. Those 3 things. And it doesn't matter what that looks like. I don't care what it looks like as long as it meets that criteria. While I'm on the subject here, another big thing that I see is people getting frustrated because they go on a diet or they're trying something new and they're trying to eat healthy, but the weight loss is either not coming off or it's really slow. They get frustrated and then end up quitting because they're like, fuck this, I'm sacrificing. I'm not eating my favorite pizza. I'm not going to the bars. I'm not having beers, but I'm still not losing weight. So why am I doing this? It doesn't make any sense. I'm just going to go back to eating how I was and be happy. That's, how a lot of people think. And, you guys have seen this and I've talked about it, and it's really a hot topic on social media these days. And it's the old calorie deficit, right? Everybody's preaching deficit. Every goddamn coach online, it doesn't matter. It's deficit. And, it's true, right? It's just been overplayed, but it is true. The problem why people get frustrated, they don't lose weight, or it's too slow, is because they're not in a deficit long enough, consistently enough, okay? Anybody can starve themselves or eat a low-calorie diet or a low-carb diet in the short term. But what happens is you feel like you're starving, you're miserable, you're hungry, you're hangry, and you eat great, or what you think is great Monday through Friday. All right, you're sucking on rabbit food, carrot sticks, right? You're thinking, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to lose a bunch of weight. Weekend comes, and you let go a bit. Right? You have a few extra things. You have that extra beer, whatever. You have a hot dog. And you don't really pay attention to the calories. And what happens in a lot of cases is you just end up overeating to a point where you're wiping out the deficit you created. So it's not like, I was great Tuesday and Wednesday, so I should lose weight, right? It's more about looking at a bigger picture, right? A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Look at the bigger picture when it comes to staying below how many calories your body needs to lose weight. So if that's, sounds like something that you struggle with, just really focus on staying consistent with the number of calories. And honestly, it doesn't matter what the food is. Clearly, you want to eat healthy, clearly. But you can lose the same amount of weight eating 1,200 calories of Oreos as you could eating 1,200 calories of chicken and sweet potatoes. It's just not going to be the same type of weight, but you can still lose weight, right? You're still going to lose fat, but it's going to affect your overall health, and you're going to feel like a piece of poo. So, if that's you, I would suggest just track your calories. See how many you're eating. But most people have no clue how many they're actually eating. They just guess. And you have to know first, how many your body needs to lose weight, and then you have to know that you're pretty close to that number. And it has to be every day, not once in a while. So keep that in mind. Okay. When you go shopping, when you're out, like I said, keep things as simple as possible. But how I look at it is, if it's got one ingredient, a potato has a potato in it. Sure, if you look deep enough, you can find other things. But, from a top-down view, carrots are carrots, ground beef is ground beef, chicken is chicken, tuna is tuna, right? Just stay away from the stuff that is just not helping you. And, there's a big debate that I see online of bad foods versus good foods. A lot of coaches are saying there are no quote-unquote bad foods. It's just food. I don't agree with that. What I consider a bad food is something that is not helping you, it's hurting you. I honestly believe that if it's not helping you, it is hurting you. That's how I view food. And, most of us are smart enough to figure out that Chips Ahoy are not a food that's helping us, right? Tostitos are not helping us. Okay, this isn't like rocket science. You just have to use your head. I mean, it really comes down to using your head and realize that how you feel, how your health is, all that, everything is tied into what goes into your mouth. And the problem is that us in this country, at least anyway, we like garbage. Okay, so this is kind of an interesting point, and I honestly believe this. I think that so many of us in this country, I'm speaking for Americans because I've been coaching for many years and heard many things, but I think that a lot of times it just comes down to we don't want to eat better, right? We like the idea of eating better. Like we like the idea of eating roasted chicken and Brussels sprouts, but we like the idea more than we actually like doing it. Why? Because unhealthy food tastes better. I mean, it is just how it is, right? Can you make a case that chicken breast and brown rice and some steamed vegetables taste better than McDonald's #1 combo? Yeah, of course you could make a case for it. And there's a different conversation, but when you reset your taste buds and you've been eating really healthy foods for a long time, yes, fast food tastes like cardboard with salt on it. Yeah, but that's not the reality for most people. Most people aren't like that. Most people are the other way around, where you put a plate of grilled chicken, a little bit of salad with a little bit of oil-based dressing and some steamed vegetables. It doesn't taste it's not even close to being as delicious as going out for pizza, right? And just stuffing your face with a calzone or a pepperoni pizza. It's just a fact, right? Our taste buds have been conditioned to enjoy those foods more than we enjoy healthy foods. That can change, yes. Like I said, you can reset those, but it just takes time, right? What I'm saying is, we like the idea of eating healthy better than we like doing it. That's the problem. So when it comes time to it, right, you've got to put in the work, you've got to shop, you've got to prep, you've got to cook, you've got to eat, right? It's just like 10 times easier to say fuck it and go out to eat. All right, I know, because not only have I seen it, I've lived it many, many times. Even when I'm on challenges, even when I'm trying to be super clean and trying to, reach specific goals, you come to a point where you're just like, I don't have it in me to do all that shit again and cook another meal and prep another meal. Let's just go out and grab something at Olive Garden. And then you end up, I'll just have this one meal. I'll just have this pasta, and maybe one garlic bread, a little bit of salad, it's fine. I'll just have a couple bites of the soup they have there, right? I'm not saying that's wrong. You can do whatever you want, but I'm saying that's our mentality. That's what's holding us back, stuff like that. So just keep that in mind, right? So lastly, I want to talk about the issue of energy, because when I talk to clients, when I put questions out there, when I'm getting feedback from my community, so many times people are like, I just don't have energy. I don't have energy. And that's obviously related to, I don't have the energy to work out. I don't have the energy to make better choices. I'm just fucking tired. I want to just sit down. And honestly, it just comes down to the garbage you're putting in your body. Once you start putting better foods on a consistent basis, and I do this personally, it just happens to me, and I really feel a difference. This happened recently, last couple months. I've been really kind of in a crappy place emotionally, and I chose to let my diet slip. I chose to start making some bad decisions as a way, we'll call it comfort foods, right? I'm not any different than most people when it comes to that stuff. And I spent too much time at in the McDonald's drive-through line. I was eating red vines. I went back to drinking soda. So prior to that, I felt good. I was taking care of myself, and a couple things happened, and then a couple more things happened, and then I just kind of gave up. I was just trying to, honestly, just get through the day some days, and I wasn't sleeping well, and I was, really struggling with some things on a personal level, and I just wasn't dealing well with them. And so, I turned to food again, and it was just immediately within like a week, I would say a week and a half, my energy went from, I felt pretty good in the morning. I was getting up. I felt great. I fell asleep, pretty quickly. Once I started reintroducing those crappy foods, I seriously just felt like a turd. Like I stopped working out. I was taking Tums every night because of indigestion, because of all the acidic foods and the soda I was drinking. Every time I would lay down, like I would have this heartburn, reflux type thing. And it just happened for a couple months like that. And I was tired all the time. I didn't really want to get up. And that's what happens when you start just pouring garbage into your body. And I'm sharing this with you because guys do this every day, right? I don't want anyone to think I'm over here preaching from this, ivory tower where I'm doing all these amazing things and I'm making every right decision when it comes to my health and I'm judging you for eating like a pig, right? I'm doing these things. I've been through this so many times, and this is just recent, right? I just had some things happen, and I will say that once I recommitted to myself, and I just started this 45-day challenge like I mentioned, I committed to really getting back after it and just cutting myself off because it was getting out of control. And I just started yesterday, and I'm not, this isn't even an embellishment, but I feel just today, and I started yesterday with a just clean diet. I cut out all the garbage, soda, all the shit that I was eating. And just one day, and then today, which is half a day, I'm 2 days into this, I can feel a difference in my energy just because I'm eating high quality foods and I'm not eating the stuff that's sucking my energy, the sugars and the processed garbage and the Fig Newtons and all that junk I was just basically eating constantly and getting tired and just felt like shit. So I feel a difference. And so my point is, once you start putting better foods into your body, you will feel a difference immediately, which will immediately translate to more energy, more interest in working out, more motivation, more desire to start making better decisions. Because when you have more energy, you just get more shit done, right? You just want to do more stuff. You're moving more. You're thinking better. You're thinking more clearly. And then just things get better. It's just how it is. And so that's what I'll tell you is just look at that. But anyway, take away from this, guys, just a couple things, right? There's no right way to eat. I do not care what diet you follow. As long as it's healthy, you can sustain it. And it's getting you the types of results that you want, whatever that may be, okay? And just remember, this is all you got. This is your life. We see the news every day. People are checking out. People are dying prematurely. You never know when your last day will be here, and you want to live the best life you can. And I think about that all the time. And if you're just muddling through life, just eating the typical American diet filled with crap, you feel crappy, you look crappy, right? It affects every part of your life. You have to start with what you're putting into it. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Catch up with you next week.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you want more information, check out the Fit Dad Basecamp group on Facebook. And don't forget to stop by fitdadnation.com. Until next time, keep kicking ass and taking the next step. You can do this, Dad.